Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in. Check out your boy, P-Funk, thinking right out here in my lab. And I'm back in the book. Oh, I got a nice lesson for you today. Doing what I do for you. You know how we do. Let's go. Rightisms, 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in my story. For life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and I'm on it, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking's way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is, know thyself. See where we're going with this? So let's get there together. And I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I get through. Yeah, that's what I do. All right, it's rhetorical, but if you don't have an answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, so you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. Appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you, right? Thinkers, know thyself and to Mayat be true. We're going to do the numbers thing. I always say numbers is sacred. And my math, my major in college was math. See them sticks up there, the flags? These are symbolizing of God. That's what the sign for God was, okay? The netter, okay? Each one represents a different letter. There should be 9 of them. We're going to talk about the mystical significance of numbers in creation. What do they represent? What do they mean? Numbers is the best thing going. Numerology, that's a whole nother world. And guess what? It's all on point, pretty much accurate to a point. That's good stuff. All right. But it all symbolically comes from here, metaphorically. So let's talk about the number 1 and the number 9. 1 and 9 equals what? 10. But the highest number is 9. Let's talk about it. And it's the reason and purpose behind all of them. Let me see if I can break it down for you. I'm going to take you to a little lesson of the examination of creation from the origin of the papyrus written text of the Anuian priesthood. We got a book called The Book of Knowing the Forms of Ra. So I got a little page of information with that. So let's start with the numbers thing. All right, numbers. There is important mystical significance related to the number 9 within our ancient Kemetic mystical philosophy. Right there. It's a philosophy based on concepts and views and principles in the company of what we call God and goddesses of Ra, Ratem, Shu, Tefnut, Geb, Nut, Set, Asar, Aset, Neptet, and Haru-Ur. The last 5 are the children. The first 5 was elements. Air was Shu, Ra is the sun, Tefnut is water, Geb is earth, Nut is heaven. Nut is what we call the great mother. Why? She gave birth to Asar, Haru-Ur, Set, Aset, and Neptet. The 5 children, the 5 celebrated holidays during the year, hence we got 365 days. God is 360. The extra 5 days is they call added or super days. But celebration, okay, festival time, and they had 5 of them. We pretty much celebrate anything. We just look for a reason to celebrate. Okay, but back then, it was significant and it was purposeful. So you can live by what? Ritualistic concepts of it, put it to use, practice it, and it worked. That's how I know right thinking works. What? I use it, so I know that. I got it from them. That's I also know. Watch this. And when you deal with the 9, there are a total of 9 divinities, and when they add up, with the progenitor, which is the spirit, the hidden essence of everything, starts with Ra, who is the first, therefore is assigned what? Number one. But before there was the number one, you know the affinity sign? Right here? That little thing right there, you can see it. It's like an 8 sideways. Okay, take the 8, put it sideways. That's infinity. That's known. That's what everything originates and comes from. He or it don't have a number. Okay, that's what they're showing you. It's the infinity. It goes on. Why? Reciprocity, meaning when I exhale, you inhale. When you exhale, I inhale. Y'all call it, it's also called Yahweh. For y'all who don't know, let people break that down too. But Yahweh is the breath. Out and in. You can't have one without the other. It's the yin and yang of life. Again, and breath has consciousness, another lesson. But these are all concepts that if you get into understanding, man, they was way, way ahead of us. Moving on. That's why I guess I'm a little farther than y'all, because y'all ain't really there yet. Moving on. I try to help you. My thing, not to rag or no, try to help you. If you believe what you, I can't help you. But if you want what I'm doing, I can help you. That's what I'm here for, personally. Let's go. But the total is 9 plus the 1. That's the spirit. We call it Amun, the hidden. Amun Ra. Okay? Another lesson. But Ra, who was therefore assigned the number 1, starting with him, we get a total of 10. The 9 compose creation itself. Again. And the first is the high god or goddess of the system who what? Engenders and supports the existence of the 9. The number 9 is to be found in the very heart of ancient Egyptian mythology and cosmology and cosmogony. All universal concepts, spiritual aspects itself. And because the number 9 is the basis of creation. I'm hearing people numerology. They all understand 9. Okay? Watch this. Yes, okay. Now, the number 9 is to be found. Okay, that's the way. But this is why the number 9 occurs where? In nature, in chemical, physical experiments. Creation unfolds what? Into 9 relative aspects. And they are all rooted in what? In and sustained by what? That supreme being, the spirit, the essence, the hidden spirit that's in everything. 9 months before the baby come out, right? They said 7 is completion. No, it ain't. 9 is birth. It takes 9 months to birth a child. 7 days to complete a week. Yeah, okay. 7 planets, they so visible, and they just found out what? They had 2 more, so that makes 9 again. This stuff is unbelievably on time. We disguise it in a whole bunch of different ways because that guy, once he started learning the symbolism, okay, and the art of esoteric messaging, he started playing games with y'all, and now he's still playing. That's what obsessed me with him. Okay, moving on. He knows a few things that we don't. And when the person who's smarter than the other person, he's going to manipulate and use them. It's just that's the ego. I just gave a lesson about if you use your knowledge for the wrong, don't worry, you pay for that. It's when it's done right that you get rewarded. I want my reward. I sold drugs. I knew that. So now I'm doing what's right. I know it's kickback for this is. Okay. And what's this? That's the supreme being, God. That's the first principle. But this idea is mythological. Listen to me again. This idea is mythologically expressed. They put it in myth form to what? As the emergence from what we call the primeval ocean. We use relative concepts to make a point that's hard to prove. That's what philosophy is all about. And you got the eventual submergence back into the ocean and at what? The end of time. Right now, God is asleep. We're all in his dream. Everybody's having their way doing it. Okay, when he wake up, back, and then he'll go back to sleep and start again. That's conceptually, okay? But this creation, that's what makes creation a cycler movement of what? Spirit, right there. Spirit where? Within the creation. Feet moving, feet moving. See, when I'm teaching, I get excited, so excuse me. The feet moving. That tell you, the spirit in creation is continuously, constantly emitted, created, dissolved, and what? Reanimated again. Perfect concept. But if the gods and the goddesses at the Paute are assigned numbers, that means their qualities explain the numerological aspect. I told you they're all aspects of your character anyway. So you can explain, understand them, you can emit or employ them and use them. Now, numerological aspects of creation. Everybody has a number. The number means something. I can give you that lesson again on the numbers. How about that? But creation, and these explain the cosmogony of creation. It's broken down so you can understand it through the number game. I'm going to do that for you right now. The number of each divinity is assigned in accordance with their emergence and the pattern in which they fulfill the mythical significance and the psychic relevance as stated in our ancient Egyptian creation myth and its traditional account. It's going to break down starting with the noon. Remember, no number. It's a sign. Signs and symbols. I'm going to break that down for you one more time. Again. But everything's based on symbolism and esoteric teaching. Why? Because the masses, they think y'all stupid, ignorant. They think y'all just dumb. That should be insulting to the damn masses. I teach because they think we stupid. I'm trying to prove it wrong. By me telling you, I ain't dumb. And I want my people to be dumb. So I try to educate them, enlighten them best I could. That's why I'm here doing what I do. Why? For you. Let's go. So in Ratim, from infinity, we go to Ratim. That's number one. Number two is Shu. And if you notice, as we go down, the male side is going to be even. The female side is going to be odd. Think about that, first of all. And every number is significant. Watch this. So Shu represents air. That's number two. Fire, Ra, number one. Air, Shu, number two. What? Tafnu, which is the water come down on us, the moisture, the dew that we get in the morning. We need moist air. What? The moisture, what? Fermentation that's coming behind it. That's what he's setting everything up. And he's showing you how he put it in chronological order to show you we need air, we need moisture. Then we got earth. And when he created heaven, the starry decked lady, Nut, she gave birth to us, which is human, in the form of who? Asar. He represents spirit and matter becoming human in form. But he gets killed by what? His ego. Let's not stop and slow down. Let's talk about this right now. I hate that I got to explain everything. We should already know that. But Asar is the first spirit and man. He represents the spirit. They gave him identity, gave him a name, gave him a whole life that we can study and follow and emulate. Okay? Aset, she represents intuitive knowledge, immortality. But she's, again, odd number. Tafnut was 3. Nut 4 or 5. I set number 7. Now, number 8 is your ego. That's the number here. That's the infinite number turned upside down, straight up. Now it's an 8. Okay, that represents your ego, and that ego thing is a bad mamma jamma. And number 9 is Nephet. That represents mortality. Aset represents immortality. Aset represents mortality. They go together. Again, you can't have one without the other. And really, Nephet, as I'm studying, she's Mother Nature, not Nut. No, Nut is the great mother. Mother Nature is down here on Earth. She would take care of what? Life on Earth. So that's what her job is, Mother Nature. Nephet. Number 10. And number 10 is the 1 with a 0. The 0 is half of the infinity number. And the 1 starts with what? Ra. Ra and Haru are one and the same. You just have to become Ra physical form, or Haru in the physical form, become Haru-er. That means you're great. You know yourself. And to know thyself makes you great. How about that? That's the philosophy. That's his name. Let me break it down for you a little bit better. Hopefully I'm going to take you through it right one quick. Now in verses 5, 3, 6, and 2 of the account of the creation, we learn that the order of the emergence of the earthly or the human divinities, it was Asar, Haru-er. Haru-er is full-grown master of oneself. He was born like that. He's the brother of Asar. and the sister, brother, sister, but he's the second born. Let me get to the story right quick. And the third was Set. Now, Set should have been fourth, but being who he is, the ego, he couldn't wait. He bogarted. He came out. He didn't come out the vagina. He came out the side. He just bogarted his way out. So that's how the story goes. All these are stories that you can relate to and understand and emulate them. And say, I could see that. Do it make sense? If it makes sense, it's worthy of giving thought. If something don't make sense, your discernment should say, bah, 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 bullshit, bullshit. No. Simple as that. So with self-knowledge, that's a built-in mechanism for what? For lies. Simple as that. Moving on. I know if you're lying and telling the truth. Simple as that. I'm a spirit seeker. I see what you ain't looking at. That's you, yourself. And 4 became, I said, 5 is Nephthat. Those are the 5 children of Nu. Come from what? Heaven. What do you want to go back to? Their mother. The great mother took Asar. First one back was Asar. Okay? That's the concept. That's the story. So get the whole idea when you do your due diligence. I can't get a whole lesson. Now, if I was in a classroom setting, this would be a whole lesson. I would just make this out of a whole lesson. Why? Get everybody's opinion, ideas, and thoughts of what the writer just read, how they understand it, what it means to them, and break it down to fine powder so they can't misinterpret, misunderstand. They got to get to understand it, and they can leave there with a different concept and understand it for themselves. Every individual got to get their own lesson. I give it to you that way. It's universal, but it's individual when you use it. The other person might not use it the way you do. But the idea is to be available, have it for them, all right? And again, but this is not the order and the format that is used on the Tree of Life. The Tree of Life goes Harut, Set, Nephthat. Okay, the hopscotch board. The Jews, the Kabbalion, they took this philosophy, put it in Sephoric. I gave that lesson too, but they got the same concept, okay? Said different, same thing. Moving on. Now let's talk about right here. This is 1 page of information. It is a few lines from the book of what? Book of Knowing the Forms of Ra. They got it in 3 things. It's called trilineal. You got the hieroglyphic form, you got the Egyptian word, and then you got it in English. Okay? So that's way you can look at it. And I know some of the signs here, who they are, what they are. You see down here, that's Capri. When you see a guy sitting, that's Ra. But all of it is broken down from the way they wrote it, ancient times, the way they spoke it, into the way we translate it. And talking about being lost in translation, some of the stuff you like, but you have to understand this is the way they talk. So I'm going to do it that way so you can get the full understanding, hopefully the impact. Let's go. The foundation of the teaching of the Kemetic Tree of Life comes from the Anuian creation myth. We're telling you it's a myth. We're telling you it's a story. One more damn pen. All right. But it's a mythological concept, principles, philosophy that they set forth that you can manifest once you will implement it. You make it reality. Let's go. And the foundation from the book of knowing the forms of Ra. So they're going to give you different forms of Ra. The first one is they said, Shat, Neti, Rik, Keperu, Mu, Ra. You know, you're the Egyptian, you know what he said. Let's go with book, the knowing forms of Ra. How about that? See? When it's read in hieroglyphs, okay, you understand it. Then if it's spoken in Egyptian, you still don't understand that. But then you break, okay, I got it. There you go. Hope that makes sense. So now we're going to take a few pages out of the book. The book of knowing Ra is the cosmological myth scripture. Watch this. If it were to be compared to what? Modern day Bible or biblical type scripture, meaning information, again, this would be their Genesis story. How about that? Okay, the section. The portion below is only a part of the section that contains what? The segment that talks specifically about nature of creation and the emergence of what? The God and goddesses, the elements and the spiritual and the human beings behind it, the concept of it. And it's explicit when it says, watch this. The first one says, Per na obu, coming the eye as plants form. It says here, I read the line over here, God comes into forms of plants. We know that, that's nature, right? Okay. This is all their philosophical principle concepts. Watch this. They had a full understanding Okay, next one is Depth. Nep, Keper, Nep, M, Sin. God is also in the form of animals, hello, and in fact, everything that has been created. So when I hear your religious people tell me God sits up high, I'm done with y'all. So don't even go no further. Why? I'm not listening to nothing else you got to say about that. If you take God out of his creation, I'm not paying attention to nothing you say. That's why. As simple as that. You can believe what you want. I don't give a damn. But I'm not following that nonsense. So moving on. That's why I don't do belief. I'm not believing that. I ain't got to believe that. That's my choice. Again, free will. I stand on my free will. So, and it says here, number 38, line 38. Musu in Shu. I know Shu is air. Diff, tough new. I know that's moisture. New. I know that's heaven. Musu again in birth, gave birth and gave what? Shu gave Tefnut, and Tefnut gave Nut, and birth to Geb, Nut, and Nut gonna give birth to Asar. Okay? Asar and her Kun An Mau Set, Aset, Neptet, okay, and who was, we forgot, Haru This is all laid out 10,000 years ago. What's this? God, now the translation, excuse me, line 38 and 39, I'm reading both together. Matter of fact, I'm going to read the rest of them. I'm going to read them out. I get down to the bottom where it says here, God gave Shu and Tefnut, and he birthed them. He coughed up Shu, spit out Tefnut. The cough is air. The spit is water and moisture. Makes sense. I get it. Conceptually, okay, I got that. I'm not saying God chalk up something and spit. No, I get the concept. So moving on. That's all it is. These is concepts. Not literal. Excuse me. You the literal part of it. You make it work. Moving on. And number 39. Geb, Nut gave birth to who? Let me see. Shu and Tefnut gave birth to Nut and Geb. Geb and Nut gave birth to the next five. Asar, Haru, foremost, seer, blind, Set. See, Haru was born full ready, okay? But Set go guard his way, and then you got Aset and Nephet from the body of who? Nut. She's considered the great mother. We come from heaven. When Asar died and passed the scales of Mayat, justifying him going back home, from that point on, everybody had to go the same way, starting with Asar, okay? He is the firstborn, and he's the first to die, symbolically. This is all metaphorically. It's all conceptually, theologically, to teach what? A lesson. We are his offspring. We are what? Aspiring to what? Go back to our Father. So you gotta what? Become conscious of who you are in order to go home. Know thyself. Haru is the son. Father already received the son. Prodigal son can always go home. No matter how bad you mess up, but you can always go home. It's all come from here. Everything y'all profess in that Bible came from here. Moving on, let me wrap this up. I see the clock. I gotta get this out the way. And Nut gave birth to us. Okay, Asar the five. And Nephet from the body of Nut, and after one another. So the birth of these gods and goddesses became celebrated holidays. Okay? A multiplicity of forms, those while on earth coming to being. Man gonna reproduce on his own now. Once he learned to interact and to make, they can start now multiplying and become what? Little gods and goddesses and learn. So from the brief reading of this concept, the creation myth scripture, we can learn what? That God created all living beings on earth, and the very life forms on earth originally proceeded from the gods and goddesses that what? God also created. This teaching also explains our ancient Egyptian proverb that states, man and woman are what? Mortal gods and goddesses. And the god and goddesses are what? Immortal men and women. We need to understand that in the physical form. So when the physical form run out, being conscious of who you are, you can go home, male or female. This also explains how all human beings are in what? Divine origin. That implies also that men and women have what? the divine spark, the spirit that gives us life. God does that. And its divine essence is of God. That's why it wants to go back to where it comes from, God. But it can't go in the physical form, and it can't go without being what? Conscious of itself. Hope you're getting this. I'm loving this. I'm wrapping it up right now. And it is also the essence that the teachings is dedicated to rediscovering or remembering who you was, and also discovering what constitutes the attainment of what the covenant goal for life of the mysteries and mysticism that we put forth, what? Know thyself. In the creation myth, description number 39, the name of Set is given with a special determinative glyph. This is the sign for Set. I'm going to tell you that the whole time. And wrap it up with this. See the guy right here? See that right there? What is he? A man with a hatchet to his head, right? If we modernize it, it'd be a man with a gun to his head. Suicidal, destructive, self-destructive. They're telling you that the ego is self-destruction. The ego will kill. That's what killed the Tsar, your father. So you don't want the ego to kill you, so you need to conquer it. That's the concept, and that's the goal for all right thinkers. That was the goal of our ancient Egyptian ancestors. I'm just piggybacking and keeping it going. Why? I know it, I live it, so I'm good to go. You can do the same thing. I'm here giving it to you every day. I'll be right back. Right now, I got to go. In closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me 100 minus a day. So I never know that my right thinkers who understand the number game, and they get the creation stories and mythological concept have passed away. I'll be right back with more. I'm excited.